Do you hear that? Another train coming down the tracks. Let's climb on board. Where's it gonna take us? Well, welcome to Whistlestop. Whistlestop is a Spare the Crying miniseries edited by May, voice of Kian and Zenith, with transcriptions by Beak. Thank you all so much for joining us. This tale takes place in the world of Spare the Crying, but you do not need to have listened to the main campaign to listen to Whistlestop. Go ahead and join our Discord if you want to see behind-the-scenes updates and art about the miniseries, and to discuss with other listeners and TTRPG fans. And a special additional announcement, Spare the Crying has been nominated for the Best Legacy Podcast in this year's Crit Awards. We are a very small production, and every little bit helps to support the show, so please go vote for us at the link in the description or at critawards.org, that's critawards.org. And thank you all so much for submitting us to be nominated. It is such an honor to be up there with so many amazing creators, and we are excited to bring this new tale to you. Compassion. We all ask for it when we can. What more could we want? Ask for compassion. After the battle by the train tracks, after dragging home a monster-turned person who suits her name, tragedy, just fine. What more could you want than compassion? Maybe that Lachlan deserves it, though Teo and Zenith eye him in his necromantic glow with suspicion. Maybe Nereo deserves it, though tragedy insists he carries a curse not unlike her own. Maybe the people of the island of Loomis deserve it. Compassion is a light of its own, isn't it? And light is something these people lack, or most of them anyways. Those in that city, with its bright halo of sunlight all day and all night, they seem to be doing just fine. Or maybe, compassion is just a friend of yours. Last we saw you, Teo and Zenith were off, seeking their lay-seeking guide, Compass.
So, Teo and Zenith, Compass lets you take the lead, despite the fact that Compass certainly knows the way to your home. She allows you to lead her there. And she doesn't really ask you any questions as you walk down the familiar paths. She has a thoughtfulness to her, a bit of intensity, but holds herself back from asking anymore about the mysterious people you found outside the border on your mission and seem to skirt around the details about who they are. Do you just lead her straight there? Are you going to prepare her for anything? Are you silent as well on this little walk?
I think when we reach the clearing that the cabin sits within, Teo pauses and takes a second. Shall I just go on ahead and make sure they're all ready for us? I'll be just a moment. And he will scurry along and leave Z and Compass standing awkwardly side by side. Yeah.
I think when you leave Compass there, now that you're not moving, sort of more on a mission in a sense, she also does kind of get a little bit more fidgety than she was a moment ago.
Teo will enter the living room, look around and see that everyone is still here. Is everyone still here? Acting normal, I bet.
Yeah, so normal. Definitely.
You're on top of the fridge.
Ophelia has set up. Yeah, I mean, for Saint, I feel like that could be pretty normal. And if Saint told Nereo that was normal, I bet.
Yeah, you could convince him.
It wouldn't even be hard.
He's up there, he's like, this is a custom, I've been told.
If you haven't, Ophelia has begun to set up some tea. It appears she has her own little mini stove that she pulls out, a bit nervous to touch someone else's things, and has set up a little tea set for you all, as well as for the visitor that is soon approaching.
Oh, well, that's lovely. Hello. She's just outside. We're fairly certain this is the one you're looking for, who is looking for you. If she's not, she does also happen to be the head of the Lay-Seekers in this area. So I don't know if your friend here would like to perhaps make themselves scarce for a few minutes.
Ophelia looks over to Lachlan, and he kind of sighs. He picks up his teacup.
I wasn't talking about you, dear. The other one. You're the friend.
He nods, but he offers a hand to Tragedy. She stands up as well. And he looks to you. Yeah, there's a lot of ifs and maybes that you're presenting us with here, so maybe one at a time's preferred.
Fair enough.
And he kind of has to encourage Tragedy to go into the back room, like gives her a little push, and she like almost pouts about it a bit, but she follows and joins him in Zenith's room.
It's just all spoons.
It's all spoons.
All right. This will go according to plan. Okay! And he will clap his hands, look up at the two on top of the counters in the fridge, smile and nod, and go back and open the door for Zenith and Compass.
Compass lets you lead the way, and Nerio and Saint. This is the first time you've seen Compass, right? You are greeted with the leader of the Lay Seekers here in Loomis. She's a human woman. You can tell she seems a bit tall from your position up on the fridge, though it's, a bit harder to estimate heights from there. She has a stern expression on her face, but there are hints of smile lines, like she has a friendliness behind it. She has long dark hair that's styled in braids and piled atop of her head. She wears formal clothes that match more of an image of a official lay seeker, unlike Zenith and Teo here, who are a little bit more eclectic in their style. She has dark green eyes and dark skin and an air of authority about her that she expresses impressive control over as she allows it to drop when she enters the home, and looks to the two of you and gives you a closed mouth smile. Are you the travelers searching for me?
Hey.
Hello.
Yeah, we're just hanging out.
Yes.
Just casual people,
Right.
Yeah. It's she's gonna hop off the counter. It is very nice to meet you, though. My name is Saint, and she puts her hand out.
Hello, Saint.
Nerio clambers down and he brushes his, dust off his torso. He goes, yes, hello. Sorry about the interesting first impression. I am Nerio. You can call me.
You can call me.
And he holds out a hand to shake.
She takes your hand, gives it a firm shake. You can call me Compass. She gives you both sort of a look over, she's still holding your hand.
Lovely name.
Thank you.
If she's holding both our hands at the same time.
No, she's still holding Nerio's hand.
Both shaking.
Giving you both a look over.
I'm gonna just take my hand back now. Welcome to this place.
She's
Nerio, I don't know exactly what to say.
Right.
just gonna let them cook. I'll sit back and let them cook.
Zenith and Teo just standing in the back, just watching.
Yeah,
things.
I'm just gonna let it happen.
She looks quite puzzled. She turns back to the two of you. Can you explain to me what is happening here?
Yes, and these two are accompanied by a lovely other friend here, and he will gesture at Ophelia.
Ophelia gives a little wave. She's still sitting on the floor with her tea set. She looks a bit nervous as she smiles, looks up at all of you. Hello. She stands up, dusts off her skirt. We were searching for compassion, and Compass nods and sort of takes a step back. For what purpose?
Well, there was an interesting note, I believe, that said ask for compassion. And at first we thought that might be, the concept of compassion, but maybe then we thought it was a name. And Compass could be, if, it's just a few more letters.
I don't know if it's like a nickname.
Like compassion.
Yeah.
We just didn't know
what-
if there
what
was a
he said.
connection there, since just trying to unravel this whole mystery that's happened.
You see her shoulders kind of relax a bit as you talk, and she nods. Yes, perhaps if we could take a seat, I can explain.
Of course. Absolutely.
Oh, yes, yeah, we can
Shall
definitely
I
do
make
that.
tea? Do we have tea?
Zenith's just looking for seats because there's certainly not enough, as the house has been slowly more crowded.
Oh, I'll just sit on the floor.
There's, a couch, there's, throw pillows, everyone just, find a corner.
Compassion just sits on the ground. She allows you all to take whatever space there is to sit down. Well, it is good to know that my signal was noticed. It was my first time communicating with your group in this way, and she looks over to Nerio and Saint And Ophelia is like, oh, no, they're not, well,
They're affiliated, loosely, would you say? A little bit?
no offense. She looks over again to, I guess to all of you.
No, loosely.
Well, this one is, and she points to Saint. This one is a prince, and she points to Nerio. And she and Compass / Compassion share this kind of puzzled look at each other, like neither of them quite know what to do with you, Nerio. And Compass just sort of shrugs. All right. Well, we have been experiencing some issues here with our borders and the island and protecting the people who live here. Protecting most of the people who live here, anyways. The two of you. She looks to you, Teo, and Zenith. Is this all truly something you have stumbled upon, or have you long been involved with the winds?
Oh no, this is all brand new coincidence, with the shadowy situation out by the tracks.
Yeah, it's just kind of happened. I mean, I'd like to know more.
Well, you are certainly involved now, so there's nothing we can do about that. We have been struggling with our area of protection shrinking. Most people think this is just the natural ebb and flow of the oceans, but that is a simple and easy lie to turn to for the people who wish to preserve their own safety over others. Of course, this is not the only island who struggles in this manner, but it is my home, so it is my priority. To put it simply, we need to steal something, or I would like to steal something, and I was hoping to receive some aid in doing so. I do have a connection with a friend up north who did in fact try to send aid to Loomis, but not surprisingly our leaders here did not accept it. That's when my suspicions began that perhaps they are more purposefully doing this than I originally believed.
Why would they do that?
She smiles again, but there's a bit of sadness to it. Fear, greed, power because they can, because they don't care about those who live on the borders. They would prefer the Guardian to be held close than to spread protection over wide and potentially be used by people other than themselves. Once you travel a bit more in your life, I think you will see that this is awful but common.
That's awful.
If anyone would like to help,
Well,
I think we should...
what can we do for you? Why us,
Well, the winds... I'm a bit... she again, glances over to Ophelia and to the rest of you. A bit, lost perhaps on exactly who each of you is in this situation here. I left that signal because my friend told me it was a way to get help, perhaps a bit less by the books. And Ophelia raises her hand. Yes, that's us. We've been newly introduced to everyone here, but we're friends of a friend with Saint. And she, gives you a little nudge, Saint.
Oh yeah. They I know them kind of, ish. We have mutual friends, I think. She gets kind of awkward and she just sits. She sits down a little bit.
Like, well, what do you mean you think?
No, I'm just being stupid. Sorry, y'all keep going. Just don't mind me.
All right.
Me?
Yes, you seem.
Yeah, I'm good.
Is something making you nervous about this?
Well, no, I'm okay. I swear.
This is the sort of thing you do, right?
She kind of side eyes Nerio.
Can I?
No, I'm so
Can I insight check?
Did you say insight check?
Please.
Ophelia also is going to insight check.
Oh no.
Bad news. Natural 1, everybody.
Ooh.
Give it up.
She's fine. She's just being quirky and awkward.
Nerio's just kind of stupid.
I got a 19 on the dice, so 21 for
Ophelia got a 10, so...
Then Ophelia probably just kind of thinks that she just looks a little out of her element. She just looks a little awkward. But to Zenith, she is definitely thinking about what was it? It was Teo that had said that maybe that she should kind of chill out or like be a little bit more cautious. So Zenith probably could tell that she's a little bit more concerned and nervous and definitely very trying to put her guard up but doesn't know how to in a normal way.
Oh no, I've given her anxiety.
Yeah.
Oh, what have I done?
What a gift.
She's a big ball of anxiety right now.
No, I need to go walk into the woods.
Because she's like trying to be like nice to these people while also like not put everything out there, you know what I'm saying? So she's like,
Here, let me just... Ophelia stands up. We have a couple more of my actual Winds friends in the back. Just a moment. And she steps back and returns with Lachlan and Tragedy. And she sits down, quickly explains to them like what Compass has already covered, and then gestures for her to continue. And Compass gives a little sigh. She also has still that kind of fidgety energy to her. Not too different from Saint's, actually. Like, she also feels a little bit nervous about all that she is revealing. I think the two of you haven't really seen her like this before. I mean, you've seen her be like a little bit awkward socially, but never like, nervous in this manner. Where was I? I was told to ask the Winds for help, either to establish a safe place here for people who are less protected by the lights of our guardian, and or also to gain access to that light or gain some of it back from where it is being hoarded. Of course, our Council of Representatives would not allow us simply to gain access to seeing it, so there will be some deception and secrecy involved in getting it back, if you would help me with this.
So, you want us to steal the Guardian's light? That's a tangible physical thing that can be stolen.
Yes, perhaps release it is a better way to put it, if that makes it easier to swallow.
Certainly. Okay, I'm curious.
Is there like a switch for that? Or?
There is a powerful source of it. They call it the Eye of the Island. Some people say it is a fallen star, though I think that is more of a fairy tale. It lives now within the walls of the capital and powers those walls and lights the city at all times, of course, because they do not have to.
I just want to make this a home. Sorry, if that's not clear. I'm just saying, I'm in.
Well, if Z is on board, then I am. I'd like more information if you have any, but I think we can do this. Or at least, make a gallant effort.
I'm also in. And whatever we can do, I got nothing else to do.
Lachlan, Ophelia, and Tragedy they all turn their heads almost at the same time over to Nerio.
He looks a little puzzled. I mean, he obviously he doesn't like the idea that people are hoarding it, but he takes a second to think. The people who survive off of this light in the city, would this affect them at all? Would this make it scarce for them if it were distributed, or would it just make it equal?
Well, it would make it scarcer for them than it is now. However, now they have an excess. They have more than they need and more than they use.
Right.
There are more and more pockets of darkness encroaching on people's homes. There are more and more people deciding that they must head out into the deeper depths of the oceans in the hopes they'll find riches and afford better housing, putting themselves in danger. Yes, some people in the city will have to do with less light, less protection, but at least from how I see it, they don't need it as badly as they say.
Much to think about. I agree. I want to help as well, so I'm in too.
Tragedy kind of grins when you say that and takes a loud sip of her tea. That is what we're all here for, and this prince and I can actually do a lot of damage when we want to, so that should be at least helpful for some time when we're trying to, sounds like what, destroy a wall, steal some shit. And Ophelia and Lachlan also nod, and Ophelia reaches a reassuring hand over to Compass, rests it on her shoulder. Yes, of course, that is what we're here for. I assure you we're accustomed to this sort of thing. Lachlan nods. Yeah, You can help people get in and out if there's any unnecessary dangers or risks to this, and we've been known to steal things once in a while when only when it's necessary, of course. And Compass nods. Right, well, Theo, you said you had questions. I will answer whatever I can.
Yes. First of all, how exactly are we meant to enter the capital? I hear it's very exclusive.
Certainly, yes, but luckily, as the head of Leyseekers, I have some access to exclusive locations and exclusive events. There is a celebration of sorts coming up, a heavily sponsored ball, a masquerade party.
Ooh.
And there is no reason why I should not be permitted to bring a few guests, perhaps some of my finer Leyseekers.
Oh, stop.
Well, I assume you want to remain anonymous. She looks over to Nerio. But if it is true you are a prince, then
I can be out of disguise if it suits our purposes. He looks a little excited. He's like, I love balls.
So you would like to present as yourself?
I have never been to one before.
You've never been.
Ophelia gasps. You've never been to a ball?
What, you have?
Yeah, I don't know who you think I am, but I've never been invited to anything like
I
that
would have
before.
invited you
Well,
to
you
my
don't have
balls.
to be invited to go.
Oh, well.
You don't have to be invited. You can just show up, and they'll let you in.
You can just show up to,
I don't think that would go
even with
over
all the
very
rich
well.
people there and the fancy things and all that. I don't even have dresses to wear for that kind of stuff.
You... Ophelia folds her arms, looks over to you saying, Listen, I think I might be starting to paint us as sort of a, like a petty group of thieves. However, if you need a fanciful outfit once in a while, and you found that there is a fanciful event you want to attend, you can just... It's not that you're like an expert criminal, Saint, dear. You know you can...
Yeah. I am, aren't I? Yeah. But I don't know. I've never really used it for, I don't know, just for
Fun?
fun. I don't know. Hypothetically, yes, I could sneak into a ball or something, or I could get things myself and go to fun things, but I don't know. I just usually don't even think about that.
But it's about time. I think we're absolutely in, aren't we? Let's do it. All right.
I'm definitely in.
I have some experience with tailoring, sewing, etc. Obviously, we will likely don't have the time to fully construct new outfits. So if we want to go shopping briefly, just to make sure that we're all believable, of course, and she looks to Compass as she says so, we can find something perfect for each of us. And then if there's any individual touches you would like, I can help you with that. If that sounds good to you, just leave the purchasing up to us. Hold on. She looks over to Nerio. Do you have like a ton of gold on you?
I don't know if I should answer that honestly. Why? Would you like to know? I can certainly help pay for things, if that's the insinuation.
What does a prince's pocket change look like?
Oh, just nothing. I just, well, I was expecting to go on a journey, so I certainly packed and prepared myself for such an adventure. But I tried to leave the wardrobe at home, so to speak. So I have, I have it written down. I don't know if this is accurate, but I've got about 125 gold. Just to get by.
Yeah, that'll do it.
That's enough to make sure that I keep comfortable. Do you think that will be enough?
Damn.
Or is that too much? Or too little? Sorry, not too much.
It's never too
God
much.
damn.
Well, perhaps it's best we sort of combine and conquer. If we steal everything and then we all show up as a group, all wearing stolen clothes. Oh, don't look at me like that, Teo. You know I was talking about stealing. Then if I'm able to sort of rearrange some of our stolen things, mix them up with the purchased things, we're less likely to be caught.
I was just going to say, I do have some fabrics lying around, some baubles, some shiny things.
Perfect.
Might be able to contribute.
When is this ball exactly? Compass kind of winces. You have 3 days to prepare.
3.
Yes.
Oh, we're going to need to get to work then, aren't we?
She laughs.
Ooh, don't worry. I have some gemstones. I have a couple little trinkets in my bag, and I also have skirts. So if we need anything, I can provide that too, and then we can get working on it, and then get our outfits all ready.
Gemstones. Since when?
She gets all giddy. Anxiety gone.
I love her. Compass seems very pleased to see this sort of change of heart in Saint. All right. If you have no further questions, I think business as usual until it is time for the event. You may receive invitations.
Wait, we're just going to it? Are we doing anything there? Like, do we need to talk about that or anything, or are we just going? Like, is this like a heist? Are we killing someone? Are we taking something?
Well,
or are we just going to have a good old time?
No, let's start with...
Do you think I'm gonna have to kill somebody?
No, dear. Well, let's say no.
Oh no.
But it's just, the ball is just our ticket in, as they say, and we'll find, what was it called, the eye and the light, and we'll go from there.
Okay. Yeah, just checking. I just wanted to know what, to expect of this mission.
Compass is looking down at her teacup, and then she finally speaks up. I wish I could be more help as far as specific plans and logistics go, but I am just as unaccustomed to these sorts of things as you may be. Like I said, I did not know about this group, the Winds, until fairly recently, since we refused the help from the Phoenix Island. I would hope no violence would be necessary. I think by getting in this building, we can hopefully discover more details of where the eye is being kept. Maybe even find it that evening. It would not surprise me if it's being held at this estate, these grounds, but there is a chance that violence will end up a necessity if things do not go perfectly as planned.
Nerio gulps.
But I assumed I should leave the planning up to the experts. I mostly can provide information about the people there, a map of the grounds.
I think we can figure something out with help. And she'll look to the Winds.
Yes, the experts, of course.
The way you said that, Lachlan kind of leans back. The way you said that makes it seem like you don't believe that we're experts.
Well, if this goes according to plan, then I'll be proven wrong, won't I?
Teo, carry little objects on you, right?
Sure, why? Probably has a number of rings that they wear, some miscellaneous jewelry, maybe a nice silk ribbon tied around his tail.
Lachlan reaches into his pocket and hands you the little silk ribbon.
You
tie around.
motherfucker.
Just thought I'd probably have to prove myself at some point.
Zenith, darling, you have to count your spoons right now.
Lachlan reaches into his other pocket and pulls out a wooden spoon. Hands it
Absolute
your way.
bastard.
Thank you.
Come into my house and drink my tea.
And give it back. Well, not the tea.
I certainly hope not.
The implications.
Compass takes another sip of her tea. If that's all, I will begin preparations. Thank you for participating in this with impressive understanding and ease. And the two of you.
I mean, I hope, we always try to do what's right. This seems like a good step in that direction.
I agree. She sighs, gives a formal bow, and steps outside. Ophelia claps her hands together. All right, so it sounds like there's not much we can do in preparation before we receive these maps or whatever, except for outfit planning. So, Saint Dia, you said you had some fabric, some gems, etc. If you want to pull those out. Of course, the two of you, if you have anything in your closets to contribute, then please go ahead and bring us to the near shopping district.
Oh yes, I'll be right back. And
Is this not bad enough?
Absolutely not.
No, well, I'll find you something.
No, come
suitable.
on. We can make it so much better. And I love the fit now, but we can embellish it and make it so cute.
I like the way you think. So, you all have 3 days until the ball.
Yippee!
But
Ball episode!
So really you have 2 days to prepare your outfits. More like 2.5 days.
Oh, God.
Last second cosplay.
Oh, no.
It's con crunch time. Ophelia is also excellent at embroidery. If anyone needs anything embroidered onto their outfit, she's got you covered.
Teo takes her up on that. It's not for me. It's for Z.
Lachlan and Tragedy both spend more of this time inside, holding the fort down. Ophelia, on the other hand, will don various disguises and head out with you all each day, sometimes to, prepare and shop for this event. Find extra accessories scattered around that you do not remember purchasing, Nerio. And with her help, Saint, with your contributions, you are all able to put together some outfits for the upcoming ball.
Zenith actually stays home for most of this, but quite early on everybody learns that she actually has quite a talent for making masks, and she offers anyone who needs a mask, she'll get to work on it. You find she doesn't quite have seven masks, 7 bases that are already complete, but she has pieces of masks that she's worked on in her wood projects, and she'll offer those up and make any adjustments that anybody needs.
Teo will trust their judgment when it comes to his own mask, and he will accompany Ophelia and the others on a couple of shopping trips, and some of the time he will spend outside doing some metalworking and in between putting together outfits. He has some things that he can simply take sheets of fabric or existing bits of clothing and alter them slightly, so he spends half and half sort of between fabric and metal.
Saint is going shopping, but also spending time. She'll help really with all the embellishments of everything, all the finer details and stuff. She ends up pulling out and dumping a ginormous bag of gemstones.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
So many, a ridiculous amount.
Oh my.
And so she will.
Nerea wants some of that.
She'll take her time and work on everybody's outfits, and just even if they're oh no, it's fine. No, she'll just go and add some more details to them to make sure they're perfect.
During these couple of days, at some point, Tragedy will pull Nerio aside.
Oh, hey.
Just, how does Nerio spend his free time here? Are you helping with the crafting? Are you just kind of hanging out? Where can Tragedy find Nerio?
I think he actually already has some pretty nice clothes, but I think that he is helping out with other people's. I think he loves the arts and crafts that Saint is doing. He will actually help purchase things. He'll go shopping and then probably hang out with Saint and craft a little bit. He's gluing gemstones onto his cape or whatever.
Yeah.
He's found a hot glue gun.
While you're doing some hot glue gun work, while the others are out on one of their shopping trips, Tragedy sits down next to you, picks up the other end of the cape that you're bedazzling without asking, and then starts to help you. After a moment or two of quiet, she pauses, looks up to you. So you understand that our sort of curse is actually going to be quite helpful for this sort of thing, right?
Sorry? What do you mean?
You've noticed that bad luck seems to follow you around, yes?
He's taken aback, off guard.
Listen, you seem like a very kind individual.
Thank you.
Soft-hearted, one might say. So maybe this is difficult to see as a blessing, but if bad things happen around us, normally, of course, that is unfortunate, but it can also be utilized for the better. I just think maybe that hasn't occurred to you yet. You should use it.
Do you know something that I don't? I've never told anyone about
You've never told anybody about what?
the bad luck thing? Or just...
Well, I have the same problem.
His eyes are a little wide. He's trying to... He's what do you know that I don't?
Like I said, I have some connections.
So you have it too?
Yes. Has none of this occurred to you? Why did you think this was happening? This is your first time leaving home, is it not?
Well, it is. I just, I thought that, well, sometimes bad things happen, and I thought that maybe it was just that, but then when one too many wagons fall on you, it's just, there's a threshold for normal wagon crushing, and I feel like I hit that a long time ago, but I didn't think that it was anything. That's not true. I did suspect, but it took me a while. I didn't know that somebody else. So you think all of the bad luck, all of the it's like Final Destination for him. He's like all of the terrible things that happened to you, all of the mishaps and the strange things. You think that it's related to my home.
Well, not all of them. And sometimes, what was it? You say a cart fell on you multiple times? Is that what you said?
So many. Just way too many wagons, carts,
Yes,
they just fall right over on me.
Sometimes a wagon just falls on you. But once it happens a few times, then you can start blaming something else.
That's a relief to hear. Thank you.
And of course, I think both of us would be better off without this issue. Someday, I should hope. But if we're going to be, trying to cause some trouble here, maybe it will actually be of use for once.
We can work with it and not against it.
Exactly.
That is I have never thought about it that way. It's a very optimistic way of thinking about it. And honestly, you're right. I think that might work. Thank you.
She looks kind of pleased in a softer manner than you've really seen. Most people don't call me optimistic. It's good to hear.
I can only imagine why.
She laughs, continues bedazzling.
May, do you want to do our little aside?
Yeah, we could do that.
We can have like a quick conversation.
Yeah, go ahead. Does Teo start? Or
Sure, he will take a break from crafting and go off to find Zenith. Hello, I don't mean to interrupt. I know we're short on time, but could I have a moment?
yeah, just she quickly covers a piece that she's working on with a scrap of fabric and turns to look. What's going on?
Oh, well, can I come in? He will just invite himself in and shut the door. I just, I wanted to make sure we're on the same page here. It's all happening so fast and all. Actually about the ball, I know you're really not one to get dolled up, as they say, but I think, at least I hope, you're willing to for one day for this.
Guess it's important for the mission.
I know it makes you uncomfortable. I won't force you to wear it, but I do think at least you won't find it awful. I hope you won't.
I'll put it aside. I can make it all work out.
Okay, sorry, that's not what I came to talk to you about. Just sort of popped into my head. But, are we really okay with all of this? I mean, we just really met these folks. The winds and all. Do we trust them?
I trust Compass, and I want really badly to believe that they're doing everything they're saying they're doing. If there's really something out there, people out there doing that sort of thing for folks, I'm comfortable here. I'm not planning on going and joining any organizations, but it makes me feel better knowing.
Well, I'm glad to know you won't be running off.
Don't worry about that.
Good, I won't. Right, so optimism then?
I'm still not. Maybe I was being a bit too quick to judge with our friend over there.
Well, I mean,
But,
that's what keeps you alive, isn't it? But, we can give him a chance. gave me one. You really had no reason to. But it worked out. Hopefully this does. Too.
I think it's good to walk out on a limb every once in a while.
Does it break?
Always hope for that.
Good talk. He will wave his prosthetic arm at the joke that he just made about it and see himself out. Got, work to do. See you later.
A relatively peaceful couple of days. An invitation does come in the mail for Prince Nerio and guest, Zenith and Teo. They are as fanciful as Compassion seemed to imply they may be. They're on a thick, sort of creamy yellow paper embossed in silver. There's sort of a sparkling quality to the paper itself, like it shimmers when you tilt it in the light. And it has that simplicity to it that means it was expensive. And you are expected to bring this with you to the event, and you are allowed to bring a +1. And if you would, please explain what it is that you're going to wear. Because I know that some of you have thought about this for a long time.
That's silly. Who wants to go first?
So Nerio is in a beautiful ornate sort of outfit. He's got a stunning white sheer blouse that's just covered in ruffles up top, big poofy sleeves, and the fabric is sort of like an iridescent. What's the word? What's the name of the fabric? It's like a silk. It's a
Organza?
Organza. Yeah, that's it. So it's kind of like that, and some tight-fitted, almost velvet purple pants. They're like a light purple-ish. Beautiful purple boots that are sort of laced up and they've got gold accents. And he's got a cape, like a capelet, one of those draped to the side, tied around his shoulder kind of thing. And it's light blue, and he put a bunch of beads at the bottom, so it kind of looks like a crashing wave at the bottom. And then his hair is, his like fish hair, fin type of consistency, and he's got it in a braid down his back, kind of simple. He's got like a gold circlet on his forehead around his head, and he's got some pearls and gold and filigree all over the place. Very ornate. The fabrics are expensive. He just kind of had that in his closet, so to speak.
Yes.
Oh, he's also wearing white gloves because obviously it's a nice event. Gotta have the gloves.
Would he allow Ophelia to embroider something onto the gloves?
Absolutely.
Ophelia embroiders a little accent. White lily that's just a little bit off-white against the white of the gloves. It's subtle. It's the kind of detail that you would have to be maybe like kissing Nerio's hand, basically, to notice. And when she hands them back to you, she's just like, oh, I just think that they sort of look like you. And gives you the gloves.
Aww, that's so cute.
Early in the morning, as everyone's starting to get ready, Zenith stays in her normal fit and will find Teo at some point and hand them a nicely wrapped package. Inside that, there is a mask that she spent the last few days carving. It's a fairly simple black mask, just covers the eyes and the top part of the face. There's definition in grays and blues and gold filigree, but the most notable part is kind of a small halo of gold moon phases that rises above the forehead, delicately carved in a way that almost seems to kind of float above the mask itself. And Teo at this point might notice that her outfit is actually even more disheveled than it usually is, because she's taken apart the tassels of her vest and she's affixed them. On the bottom of the mask, there's 4 tassels connected with some delicate chain in between.
Are you for real?
That's pretty fruity.
And when it's time for her to get herself ready, she starts with her mask as well, which it's a very simple mask that Teo's probably quite familiar with. It's a solid, simple piece of wood without any visible holes for looking through, but it seems like she can see just fine. And the wood grain is polished and seems to be the main feature of the piece, is just the natural wood. But her one addition, she's carved a sun just in the center of the forehead, below her horn. And she has affixed 2 tassels as well to the edge of her mask. And she'll kind of look to Teo. I think you said you got something for me to wear?
Yes, yes, I think it should work nicely with... This is lovely. Thank you.
It's just a little something.
He just runs off to go and get the clothes.
Okay, you two, keep it in your pants.
Hey. They're very platonically married. They are very platonically married, you're right.
He comes running back with a heap of fabric in his arms. It's just something I threw together. I hope it all works well. Didn't have much time for tailoring, but, you know, it's pretty shapeless. It is a mishmash of layered fabrics, like deep reds and coppers and oranges. It's a dress, sort of. Shapeless, like conglomerate of patterns that are delicately balanced so as not to be like too visually overwhelming. The bottommost skirt is a deep rich brown with a silky layer of mahogany on top, patterned with burnt orange floral arrays, similar enough to like some filigree that Teo is wearing himself. And all of this billowing fabric is held up by the simple cinch of a sash around the waist, colored like ivory or bone. Above this, the brown of the underskirt is revealed to be the top half of a dress, so it like continues all the way down. The sleeves puff out slightly at the shoulders, tucking in to lie more fitted along the forearms. It buttons high up on the throat, and thrown over one shoulder is another wash of silk, olive green with threadings of caramel and bronze, picking out a texture almost like wood graining, and I imagine this is what he went to Ophelia for help with. At the front and back, this fabric is tucked into the sash as well, so it sort of trails down Zenith's side. And notably, there is a metal brooch meant to be pinned at the collarbone to keep the fabric from slipping out of place. It bears the stylized shape of a compass rose, handcrafted from what looks like the same metal used in Teo's arm. And as he hands this to you, he also hands you a pair of satin gloves tucked on top. They're a warm charcoal color, not quite black.
Ophelia, with your permission, embroiders 2 like crossed silver spoons tied with an embroidered ribbon. And she's like, I know it's a bit obvious, but I just thought they were charming, and it's sort of your, particular charm point. So I hope you like them.
Anyway, even if it's just one night, I hope it suits.
This is perfect. Thank you.
He looks pleased, sort of preens a bit. He will leave Zenith to get ready, and he will go off to his own room to get dressed. He comes out clad almost entirely in black. A long, heavy skirt falls almost to the floor around his golden hooves. The velvet material sort of shines in the light, and their tufted tail sweeps out from beneath the hem. He has neatly braided it. Above the skirt is a delicate lattice of bronze chains. Each one ends in a small moon-shaped charm in various phases. The skirt disappears into a wide black leather belt, textured almost like overlapping scales. And they're not wearing much in the way of a shirt, I'll be really honest. His arms are draped in like black, long sleeves. They flare wide, like below the elbow, and it parts to show the like gold of their intricate prosthetic. At the neck, the fabric turns to the burnished bronze of a metal harness. It sort of like opens up around the collarbones and parts to show the golden symbol of the moon across their chest. And in past days, you've seen this symbol to be mostly a crescent, but today it's a full golden moon. The filigreed metal is shaped in like floral patterns of leaves and vines, sort of hugging the ribs and closing just beneath. And his back is pretty much completely bare, like showing off the ruff of fur that travels down his spine until it meets the rising edge of the belt and skirt.
Slut.
Yeah. And I think since we've had 2 sets of gloves so far, he will finish the look with one single glove on his arm.
On his non-prosthetic hand?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. The prosthetic is left like bare.
Will Teo allow Ophelia to embroider something on the single glove?
Yes, they will.
She returns it to you, and there are 3 small silver stars embroidered in the corner of the glove. She's like, to keep the moon company. That's that to you.
That's a lovely sentiment. And he'll put the glove on.
And last, but certainly not least, we have Saint.
Hee hee. She walks out and she is wearing a floor-length gown. It is multiple shades of red, leaning more like deep maroony into like a deep purple, reddish color, like a wine. It is multiple layers. It's very flowy, and it kind of has a corset top. It's all trimmed in gold. It's very intricate detailing on the corset, all in gold, and you can see like where she embedded little gems into the top, like she sewed it all herself and she put everything together. It's a strapless corset. On top she has a high neck kind of shawl that connects with the dress, but it's, tight fitted to her. In the middle of it has an obsidian, kind of like a rough obsidian, right at the top, right by her neck. And she has similar colored gloves on, like to her elbows. Her hair's in like a half up, half down style with like glittered with gems, just, little braids here and there, and a little sun and a moon and little stars in her braid. And she has an all gold mask is what she requested.
They're so beautiful.
And it's not the best drawing ever.
Ooh, I can see it.
If Ophelia asks politely, will you allow her to embroider a little something on the cuff of the glove?
Well, yes.
She returns it to you, and there's a little design of a small black rose with just a hint of a stem and a leaf.
Oh.
And she passes the glove to you and says, "Sharp and sweet, just like you."
Oh, that's very lovely. Thank you so much.
Sorry, I just can't resist a little, personalization. I hope you don't mind.
Well, and now we all have a little matching thing on our gloves. It's very cute.
Exactly, you understand. You see the vision. And she grins. She seems very happy with her work.
Oh.
Look at all of us. Yeah.
You all look lovely. We'll go get changed. I don't know if you guys want detailed descriptions of all of their outfits too. I can be brief with them.
Yes. I'll love whatever you want to give us.
I want to know.
Ophelia and Lachlan are very excited about helping each other pick their outfits and put things together. Ophelia's wearing an ankle-length cream white dress. It is just short enough to reveal a pair of matching kitten heels with fringe on the bottom in a light gold. The dress is cinched at the waist with a floral embroidered belt that ties in the front with a large bow. She steals inspiration from Nerio and also gets herself some more sheer sleeves. Though hers are a little bit tighter than Nerio's and flare out just at the cuffs. The dress itself, the bodice, is rather simple, but over this she wears a fringed shawl. This is also on the shorter side. It at its longest reaches just past her elbow, and this she has gone and wholeheartedly embroidered her best work on it. Just greens and purples, and that, again, same white gold in floral arrangements just all the way around her arms, up her shoulders, into the collar. Her hair she keeps rather simple. She half ties it back so that it doesn't fall into her face. She has like a bob and then some longer sections in the front that she braids and ties back. But besides that, her hair is mostly untouched. And she does a little spin as she steps out from her changing room, Zenith's bedroom. After her, Lachlan steps out. He's usually wearing knee-high plain boots. The boots he wears now are rather similar, but instead they're in a rich, deep blue and have embossed floral patterns up each side that don't exactly match Ophelia's, but seem to be in a similar style. Either he took inspiration from her or she did from him. He has tight pants. Yeah, he wears tight, dark pants, fairly simple, and a almost doublet style vest, again in that same or very similar deep blue to his boots. And it frills at the collar and frills at the sleeves. They're very drapey. It almost looks like he's wearing a capelet when you see him from afar, but they gather at the wrist. And that blouse is a almost black blue. And when he steps out, he also gives a bow in the same melodramatic style as Ophelia. And he steps over to Nerio and holds out his hand.
Can Yowie bloom on the... I'm killed on sight.
He blinks a couple times. Did you need something?
He grins. Well, it's gonna be easier for me to sneak in if it appears like I'm just your +1, right?
Oh, you're so evil.
Wow.
Oh my
you wicked dastardly
goodness.
fiend.
Oh my god, did you plan this?
Me?
It clicks in Nerio's head and he goes, yeah, you.
Of course I planned this!
You evil mastermind? Okay.
I know you.
Throw a short king
Oh my
at
God.
you. It's easy.
You will throw Short King at me and I will always catch him. So, yeah, thank you. Nerio, it clicks in his head and he goes, oh, you know, I hadn't thought, right. Right, yes. And he just, his mouth clicks shut and he holds out his hand.
Lachlan has been patiently waiting while you worked through your flustered mumbling, and he takes your hand.
Yeah.
And gives a bow, and of course gives your hand a little kiss, as any proper gentleman would, and stands by your side.
I gotta mute myself while I scream real quick.
I should also say, because I just thought about this, I always forget. So Lachlan is half halfling, half elf. Mostly he looks like an elf at first glance. You know, he's on the shorter side at around 5'5", but like generally has elven features, except for his little tufted tail that reveals his halfling ancestry. Around that, he has wrapped a ribbon that just like spirals all the way down and then ends in a little bow at the base of the tuft at the end. That's unrelated to him being your date. I just felt like I should probably include his little tail.
It was really important that I know that, actually. Thank you so
I'm
much.
deceased.
Information.
Sorry. It's fine.
No, May is
Oh my
crying.
god.
I carry him.
Ophelia sort of rolls her eyes as she watches this interaction, but there's affection behind it. Then finally we have Tragedy. Tragedy is in a stylized getup of the fashion of people you would see perhaps out on the range, fantasy cowboys, one might say.
Yes.
She's wearing a fringed jacket. The fringe goes all the way down the sleeves as well as around the shoulders and the front where the breast pockets would be. And then of course high-waisted pants, a large belt with a buckle with an eye, and she kind of, grins as she shows it off. And I thought it would be a little cheeky, considering it's what we're looking for and all. Of course, her pants flare at the base. She's got some dark boots underneath, but it's really the pants that Ophelia has embroidered up the side with English ivy that, she really wants to emphasize. And the pants, the jacket, the shirt underneath. I'll say it's in a fabric that appears like it's gray, but it, much like the invitations in a way, sort of catches the light and shimmers and appears more silver. And she doesn't show it off with quite the same flair as the other two. Once she makes her joke about the eye, she almost seems a bit embarrassed and just gives a little sigh, kind of waves off any excitement that anyone may be expressing about her new looks. So are we walking? Are we ready to go?
How far is it?
I think knowing that this event is happening, maybe we've fashioned. I think maybe we have a work cart and we've made little seats on it. We all have to kind of cram in, and Beaumont and Freya can pull us to the ball in this kind of rickety wooden cart.
Theo has braided into Beaumont's little mule mane. Added some beads and ribbons.
Yeah, put some flowers in there.
Yeah.
There's a new fresh coat of paint on just one part of the wagon. We didn't have enough time to finish everything.
This was a rush
3
job.
days.
Perfect. And you all hop into your cart, your very fancy cart, and take off. Nerio, it is not nearly as fancy as some of the carts that you've taken, but, you know, these
He's
two,
taking
they did
like
their best with
carriages around.
it. Yeah.
No, he thinks it's beautiful and charming.
It's like, oh, it's rustic.
He's excited. Something a little backhanded, yeah.
It's a shabby chic.
He doesn't mean it. I was just gonna say, rattling around the back of his head is the fact that everyone was like, oh, you might have to fart a little bit. So he's kind of like, well, this is all fun, but what if I have to kill somebody? Should I bring weapons? Like, what are we doing? So I think he might, like, saddle up to Saint, maybe in the cart even. And he's like, are you prepared to, if it goes to the worst, do you have things on you for that? Or we're kind of going in hoping that won't happen?
Oh, well, I mean, I always have weapons on me, so you can't see it, but I have, let me see, 2 daggers, a couple of things of poison,
27
some
knives.
tiny, like the little spiky, tiny, round thingies you throw
Like
them.
caltrops?
Yeah. I got those on me. I got, let me see. And she starts patting herself down. She's like, what did
He's
I
like,
put
where
on
do you
me?
hide all of that? I guess that is a lot of fabric that you can...
Do you want me to look? I'll show you. She lifts up her skirt, and
goodness.
you can. She's covered. She's like, He's like, no. Don't worry. I'm fully covered.
Oh, good
I would
heavens.
not flash you. I
okay.
would not do that to you, my friend.
I
oh my goodness.
I just
No,
didn't want
no,
you
look.
to feel...
She pulls up her
has
skirt,
never
but
seen
you
a
can see that
thigh
she has
before.
like like straps, and on these straps on her thighs are like 2 daggers, and I also put some stuff in my boots, and
Well, now I feel underdressed.
and one of my hairpins. I can also stab someone with that too, but
Oh my.
I just always have that on me, so I didn't do anything differently, but I am strapped just in case.
Ophelia nudges you and then like pulls up her skirt a little bit just so that you can see like up at the top of her calf the like beginnings of a knife, and she's like, we match.
Oh my god! See, you get it. So, Nerio, I mean, you know, I'm not saying necessarily that I'm thinking shit's gonna go down, but if shit happens to go down,
That's good to know.
I'll be ready.
It is a comfort that at least you're prepared. I don't have much on me.
I got your back,
Thank you, Miss.
just in case. But it'll be fine. Apparently, this is supposed to be just for fun. So, I'm assuming nothing's gonna happen, because we're just supposed to have a good time, which is... That's great.
Just in case, of course.
But just in case. You never know.
Good.
I think Xena's gonna pull out. We got a map
Of the estate.
of the estate. So is the goal we're trying to dance around and figure out if we can find where this is hidden?
Lachlan kind of leans over from his place beside Nerio to glance at the map. Yeah, I mean, if we can figure out a way to nab it tonight, then I don't know why not. But if not that, then at least find out where it is, figure out a better way to get it more subtly if that's what it comes to. But it's, in my experience, easier to get in, get out once. So tonight's ideal. Yeah, there might be some shit that goes down tonight, but don't worry. Like she said, we'll have your back.
Exciting.
Not that she hasn't looked at it before, but Zenith has a pretty good eye for maps and spends the cart ride to
You can
the
call it a carriage if you want.
No, call it what it is.
the cart ride to the ball, just putting it to memory, and she'll hand it off to Lachlan and Ophelia afterwards.
Once you get a little closer, they'll all don their masks. Lachlan wears a highly stylized carved wooden mask of a hare with, dark, narrow eyes and a very pointed nose and smaller ears so that it doesn't jab you in the face near you when he sits near you, as well as some small real antlers that come out either side. Ophelia wears a mask that covers up a good portion of her face, like half of her face, and it looks like the top part of a thistle. Ooh. And it's a metal mask, of course, purple, green at the bottom. and it doesn't really fit to her face tightly. Like it almost forms a shield over her eyes and nose. Tragedy wears a furred mask, well made. It almost looks like a black cat has been skinned to make this mask. It's highly realistic. And once she puts it on, you can see that she had kind of done her lipstick to give herself a little bit of a cat-shaped smile. And the effect goes into its full potential with the mask on. Once you begin to see the light of the capital shining through the trees, the path that your cart brings you down, they all make sure to put on their masks and gesture for you all to do the same. And it takes maybe about an hour to get to the wall. Once you get up close to it, this wall appears as though it is made of marble, but from afar it just seems to glow like you have a sunset that you are riding into. Of course, like many of the important entrances to this island, it is guarded, and the road becomes busier and busier as you approach. This event that you're attending is clearly a thing to talk about. And as the clamoring crowd starts to press in on the entryway, you can see that there are people being turned away as well. But luckily for you all, you have invitations. And when you show your lovely embossed fine paper to the guards, they allow you through. And you head down the main thoroughfare. You may not feel underdressed, but your cart certainly does.
Yeah.
Stands out like a sore thumb amongst the finer filigreed carriages.
It's a choice. It's a statement.
Yeah, sure. But though people give you odd glance here or there, it is clear that you are dressed in the best of finery, and you also were able to make your way in, unlike the rabble outside. So you are able to reach the estate unaccosted. The buildings that scatter throughout the estate almost appear simple except for the large towers fixed to each one. So it's almost like there are a few layers to them. The ground floor would almost appear like, a nice home, a decent place for a, well-to-do middle-class person. But then these affixed towers to each one, pyramid-shaped with large windows in various shapes, in like interesting geometrical patterns from the base of the roof up to the top, reveal the finer rooms and the dancers that occasionally spin by. And it appears like this event spreads throughout the estate. There are courtyards here and there with smaller stages set up, music playing from each one that somehow, despite the different groups, syncs up perfectly from one area to the other, making one consistent sound. But like most fine estates, there is, of course, the grandest hall, and that is where Compass has instructed you to meet her. It is at the center, past the university buildings, past the greenhouses in which you can see that the plants have been set aside for drinks and food, and beneath the overhanging white fabric terrace outside this building, you find Compass waiting. Compass is wearing a simpler dress compared to the rest of you. She doesn't have detailed embroidery or pattern, but it is clearly a fine fabric. It reaches the floor. She wears long draping sleeves. There's a train to her dress as well. And all of this is in a pale spring green, sort of halo-shaped headdress, behind which her hair is teased out, and false monarch butterflies are scattered throughout her hair, and her mask as well is in the shape of two monarch butterfly wings. But she wears around her waist a silver chain with the Lay-Seeker symbol dangling down the side, and you two know her well. You were able to recognize her. She raises a hand in greeting to you all.
Zenith just kind of raises a hand in return.
She gestures for you to gather a little closer. Thank you all for coming. Of course, the two of you, everyone knows that I invited you. Prince Nerio, you are here as a representative of your island.
Yes.
This is something I have at least told our council.
So I am to be expected. That's good.
I assume the closest to the truth we can get, the better.
And the closer to the truth, the better that I can. I'm not very good at lying, so the more truth I can tell, the better that it goes for everyone.
Lachlan gives you a little nudge. I'm very good at lying, so you can leave that part to me.
Right. I will do that.
So I think the questions from you, Nerio, will be received as perhaps more innocent than a random and mysterious stranger. If we are to gather information about where we think the source of the light of this beautiful city is kept or how it functions.
Right.
Anything that can lead us along the path to understanding where this might be hidden.
All right. I can do that. I've done my fair bit of schmoozing, so I can do something like that.
If you will find anything of interest, and she reaches into the invisible pocket at the side of her dress and pulls out just a handful of loose rings. Each one is silver and inlaid with what appears to be an opal stone. If you find anything important and need to contact each one of us, you can use these. You can only use them once, so choose carefully. When you decide, we will all be able to hear. You cannot send a message to just one. They are synced. They're like sending stones.
Yeah.
So cool.
Does the message play aloud, or is it sort of, just for the wearer?
No, not allowed.
Oh, wonderful.
That would cause some issues.
Before he's told that it's only one use, he almost uses it. He's like, oh,
Oh, sweet.
oh, never mind.
It's like,
Right? Yeah. Good thing that he did not.
Yeah, Lachlan reaches up and takes her hand. He's like, I'm gonna have to keep an eye on you.
Should we split up in smaller groups, maybe?
I think that might be useful. Unless it makes the newcomers here nervous, of course. It is not as if you can never be seen speaking to each other.
Well, I would like to get a drink. So, if anyone wants to do that, I'm gonna go do that.
I was about to ask if you were going to be all right by yourself,
Yeah, should we
but
see
Saint,
what,
I think you've got it. I think you've got the spirit already.
Well, I'm usually by myself, so it's okay.
That's true. Well, not
I
anymore.
think she's got the right idea. I want to see what rich person food looks like.
Yeah, Teo, you wanna go?
So who's to say that she is here alone?
Oh.
Oh.
She gets awkward and she's like, I'm gonna get a drink now. And she's gonna speed walk.
Well, after you, darling. And Teo will wait for Ophelia to go first.
Ophelia and Lachlan both give each other a little look, and Lachlan kind of laughs, and also with Teo's little, wow, what's the word? Jest. The gestures for Ophelia to go on forward. And she kind of trots after Saint. If it makes you uncomfortable, this sort of story that we're building here, I can give you some space.
Sorry, who's that?
I'm so sorry.
She's blue screen.
Would you mind repeating that
She's
for me?
already downed 3 drinks.
Chugging a drink.
Ophelia laughs. I was just saying, if this, and she gestures to you and gestures to herself, this little, if this character work, if this story that we're putting on here, if you don't want me to be your +1 for this event, if any of that makes you uncomfortable, that is okay.
No, that's totally okay. No, that's fine. I'm sorry. I'm just really, I don't know, awkward. So, no, that's totally fine. You can, and she kind of grabs her hand.
She grins.
Do you want a drink?
Absolutely.
Then let's get you a drink. And she's gonna down another drink.
So Saint and Ophelia head off to the drink bar, get some drinks, hold some hands. Nerio, what is your plan of action?
He's been tasked with schmoozing and getting to know sort of the upper echelon here, so I think that he would probably go mingle first. Or maybe, you know what? I think he would actually think dancing is the first thing, because you present yourself to the ballroom, you catch people's eyes, you get off the dance floor, and then you schmooze. You know what I'm saying? So I think he would go dance first. So I think I think he would kind of make that known, and he would turn to Lachlan. There you go. Well, I am in need of a dance partner, and, well, holds out his hand.
Lachlan takes it. Do you want to lead or should I?
Do you know how to dance?
Yes, I do.
Oh, okay.
You're the prince, go ahead.
How kind of you. And I think he does. Is there any, like, presentation into the ballroom or anything like that, or?
Nerio, you've been told to announce yourself to one of the doormen. Upon your arrival, there is going to be a... I don't know what the word... I was like, a coming out. Nope, that's not it.
Like a presentation?
Yes, there's going to be an official presentation. The more ceremonial start time. Like, right now is everyone arrives, everyone, like, mingles a little bit before you begin. People relax a bit. You have a good 20 minutes or so before you need to be officially announced amongst the other honored guests here.
Okay.
It's a good time for dancing, for a couple songs.
Yeah, they do. And I do think that Nerio leads.
Lachlan follows, and you find that he is indeed a skilled dance partner. Teo and Zenith.
Did you want to steal rich person food, or do you want to try dancing?
Xena kind of looks down. I'm not gonna be super good at dancing.
See, the thing is, your skirt is so long, dear, that no one will know. So you can just let me lead.
She looks doubtful, but kind of shrugs it off, looks to you. Well, we're trying to hold up appearances, so whatever you think.
I think that should work fine. And you've got such sharp ears, you can keep an eye out for anything interesting while we go.
All right.
He holds out his hand.
She takes it.
At this point in the evening, are you all trying to do any of the first steps of the heist? Are you trying to listen into people? Are you trying to investigate anything? Or are you allowing yourself to just enjoy the evening until Nerio's presentation?
I think the first few dances, it's very obvious that Zenith is paying attention to everything but Teo. She's looking down, or attempting to look down at her feet through the swaths of fabric, just overwhelmed by the sounds of the people around them. But she will calm down, and kind of in between fully relaxing and beginning to have fun, she'll try to get a bit of a lay of the land to see if she can hear anything interesting.
Yeah, Teo is directing their movement across the dance floor towards people that he thinks are intriguing. He'll at some point stick within earshot of Nerio. Perhaps if he is like trying to schmooze with people, they can overhear some interesting things. So he's just more directing where we're going.
I think that Saint is probably not. I think she's trying to have fun first.
Hell yeah, why not?
So she's probably going to be, like, trying to just enjoy it a little bit. But I feel like she would start listening in on people's conversations eventually, after a couple drinks.
Once she's loosened up.
Yeah.
I think whilst they're dancing, Nerio very quietly talks to Lachlan and asks essentially, like, what is our story here? He's like, what should I tell people what's our plan? How do we, when we actually get into talking to people? And I think his eyes are on the main ballroom and not really, like, I don't think that he would be very good at sneaking around, so I think he's gonna stay where he is most skilled, you know?
Lachlan, gives a little thoughtful look to you. I'm happy to be someone you met on your travels on the way here. It's not a lie, is it?
That is true, so I can work with that.
Maybe we got talking on the train, got to know each other, and decided to travel together for a bit of time. Something simple like that.
How long is a bit of time? I feel like someone's going to ask.
Well, it shouldn't be too long, because I know there's not a lot you know about me yet. What doesn't feel too scandalous to you? A couple months?
It's a bit... I think a month or two should be fine.
Perfect.
You just made me realize that perhaps me being here would be news back home, actually.
Does back home not know you're not there?
No, they know I'm not there. Just, me showing up to a ball wouldn't be so suspicious or noteworthy, but me showing up with a date would be. If that's what you meant by the +1, right? That's
He he does a little spin, and once he returns to your arms, he says, "Well, yeah, that's what I was hoping, but it doesn't have to be the story if you don't want. I just think it always adds a bit of fun to the evening." I should also say, just to make sure you know, you should probably call me by a new name here. I'll go with Jack.
okay. Jack. No, it can be whatever. The story could be whatever. I just
You got someone waiting for you back home who might feel a bit
No.
betrayed by this? All right.
no. No.
Now I don't see what the
I
problem
mean, no,
is.
my parents would just ask questions. That's all.
Well, tell him you met a dashing stranger on your travels. It's not unbelievable.
And it wouldn't be a lie. I just threw up in my mouth. Sorry, continue. You can cut that out. He's like, actually, I feel a bit sick. Too many spins.
I have to go home.
Oh.
Well, Lachlan / Jack looks delighted by the statement. You know, as you dance throughout the next couple songs before you are to head to the doorman and at the north door, the main entrance, Nereo, your date Jack provides you with like random little details about himself that you can say for your story, just adding on a bit of fancifulness to the tale that you are telling. But you know, he emphasizes that you don't need to talk about this subject too much, just if anything comes up. And he seems to be very prepared to have falsehoods about himself, just like in his pocket. And Saint, you find the same with Ophelia, who tells you to call her Mia, and the group of you are permitted, at least for a few quick, cheerful songs, to simply enjoy yourself at what is, for some of you, the first ball you've ever attended. It's a glittering night. The lights here are brighter and more beautiful than any you have seen since you've entered this island. And quickly the room begins to crowd with more and more guests, all in clothes equally as fanciful as yours. But on this sprawling estate, no room ever gets too crowded. And just before the heat of it begins to press in too oppressively, Nereo, it is about time for you to head over to be announced, as a gentle tinkling of bells informs you that 6 p.m. has arrived. Lachlan / Jack leads you off of the dance floor and then gives you a little push to the north entrance at the base of the stairs and says, "Best of luck."
He gives like a sheepish little wave. And he walks off.
You get a little wave in return and head over to the doorman who looks you up and down, and you see a hint of recognition in her eyes when she notices you, and she steps forward, gives a small bow. "I think I heard about you. You're that representative from that seaside island, right? Compass's friend?"
Yes. The kingdom of Yalis. Have you heard of us?
Well, no. I'm sorry. I mean no offense. And she bows again. Sorry, we don't get many outsiders here. I only just heard from Ms. Compass that you'd be visiting us tonight. Here, and she reaches into her pocket.
That's all right.
Pulls out a large pack of note cards and a pen. So how would you like me to announce you?
He'll take it, write it down, and he'll go through pronunciation.
So as Nereo steps over to speak to the doorman, and the twinkling sound of the bells fades, the music fades as well, and the crowd starts to murmur. Everyone begins to clear the dance floor, either because they know how this function is organized or because they notice everyone else is leaving and in their nervousness decide to follow along. And quickly the room quiets and the lights dim, except for the ones that line the short stairway up to the second story. It's 3 sides, one to the left, one to the right, one to the front, and everyone who is being formally announced to this event, Nero included of course, will be led back outside the ballroom, up to the second story, and out the doors at the top of the stairs. Those of you who are among the more common folk amongst these crown jewels of the island gather around the base of the stairs to learn who the most high-class guests are going to be, or perhaps the most interesting guests are going to be. Of course, each member of the council is announced first. Those of you who have been here for a long time, even though you live far away from the city, you know each one by name as they are called out and descend the stairs. Some are arm in arm with a partner, some are by themselves. Some have a well-dressed familiar to their side instead, and they quickly join in at the base of the stairs and are expected to mingle amongst the others until everyone is announced. Compass, of course, is included in this crowd. Announced as the Herald Flayseeker, the doorman kind of hesitates for a moment and clears their throat. And now presenting His Highness Prince Minerio, son of King Linus and Queen Demetra, the Crown Prince and Ambassador of the Kingdom of... And she leans into you a bit, Nerio. Helios?
Yalos.
What is it?
Yalos. Like,
Hyalos.
Hyalos.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good. That's okay.
Kingdom of Hyalos. Thank you. Accompanied by Jack. Sorry. And she steps aside.
You did perfect. Thank
for
you.
you to make your way. Thank you.
Gives her a silver.
And you can hear some tittering in the crowd as you hand her a silver, and she turns beet red, but she takes it. And Jack holds back laughter as he tugs you forward to step down the stairs and into the ocean of people who await you at the bottom. And that is where we're going to end our session for tonight.
Yay!
A silver for your humiliation.
Yay, Paul!
Been building up a wall, laying mortar onto brick. Been building up a wall, 'cause you just make me sick. When that wall's between you and me, that's the way it should always be. And I've been filling up the sea, mixing water in with salt. I've been filling up the sea, 'cause this was all your fault. When we stand on separate shores, I'll simmer just a little more. Always fighting over something these days, crying over nothing either way. You've been building up a railroad, laying rails and stakes and wood. You've been building up a railroad, like it'll do you any good. When that train is on the tracks, we can put all this at our back.